Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It has been quite some time since the last upload, but I wanted to take some time today to make a quick video about a pack prediction I have for Digimon's pack release for BT13 versus Royal Knights. As of the making of this video, there hasn't been any official reveals on the actual cards that will be in the set. However, this is what we currently do know. First, that there will be at least one card for each of the Royal Knights. Second, that Mirage Galgamon and Shangreymon Burst Mode will both be making their first debut into Digimon TCG. And lastly, Yggdrasil 7D6 will be included in the pack as well. Now, there is actually something that links all of these individual Digimon together that may give us some type of hint at what else may be in store. Now, the following will contain some spoilers for the Digimon story and lore, so continue to listen at your own discretion. Alright, now that I got that out the way, let's continue. Let's first start with Digimon Savers and the top dog of the Digimon server, Yggdrasil. In the story, Yggdrasil is essentially the admin of the digital world who maintains its running order. As the admin, he commands authority over the Royal Knights who are in charge of its security. The Royal Knights, as we all may know, but for those who don't know, include Omnimon, Examon, Gallantmon, Jesmon, Ganku, Leopardmon, Kentorosmon, UL Force Veedramon, Alphamon, Crusadermon, Craniumon, Dynasmon, and Magnamon. Yggdrasil's existence in the packs makes sense why it was decided to include all of the Royal Knights in BT13. In addition, Yggdrasil was also responsible for creating the X program. Now, I'm not going to get too far into the weeds, but I'll just say this. The creation of the X program unintentionally brought about the creation of the X antibody variants of the Digimon that we've become familiar with in the Digimon TCG. So it wouldn't be too surprising if we saw a few new X antibody variants of the remaining Royal Knights who haven't received one to date. The only Royal Knights who have received an X antibody form in the worldwide release thus far are the three that are displayed on the current pack cover. Those three being Gallantmon, Omnimon, and Magnamon. With UL Force Veedramon recently getting his X antibody version in BT12 for the Japanese release version as of right now. There are two hypothesized ways on how Yggdrasil might work in BT13. I'm thinking it will either be another powerful standalone Digimon like Death Xmon was when it entered the scene in the Digimon TCG, or it will be linked to the existence of a Royal Knight in either player's decks. It will be very interesting to see if they choose to make the new Royal Knights that will be released in BT13 support Yggdrasil directly, the same way the ADR satellite supported the Mother D-Reaper. The more Royal Knights that are in play giving Yggdrasil some additional power or effect, I think that'd be a nice little gimmick. Only time will tell how the developers will roll these powerful entities out. Still, if we are due for an X antibody variant of the Royal Knight, I would place my bets on it either being Crusadermon, Dynasmon, or Craniumon. Craniumon and Dynasmon make sense since they were among the most loyal to Yggdrasil. And additionally, Craniumon was included in the reprint set that is due to release in Japan on the 27th of this month. That may imply he is set to get a little bit of favoritism, just a bit. Crusadermon is mentioned simply due to the fact in the TCG was one of the most powerful Royal Knights at the time. And let's be real, when you think of Crusadermon, you can't not think of Dynasmon as well. And we have Digimon Frontier to thank for that. For longtime Digimon fans, when you think of the Royal Knights, it's not surprising if you also think of their counterforce, the 7 Great Demon Lords. And if this pack is strongly linked to Digimon Savers, there is one of the members who did make a more noticeable appearance. When Belphemon made his appearance in Season 5 of Digimon, it caused quite a bit of ruckus. I mean, I would be a little bit annoyed too after being woke from my extended ceiling/nap. And if another member is going to show up in BT13, Belphemon would be a good bet. Currently, we only have 4 of the 7 Great Demon Lords in the TCG as of this moment. Them being Beelzemon, Lilithmon, and Lucemon Fall Down Mode. Lastly, Creepymon have all been around for a good while, with Beelzemon being the only one who has received an X-antibody form in BT12. I think we will either get Belphemon or the X-antibody form of Lucemon or Lilithmon, with just adding Belphemon being a lot higher in the probability. The only reason why we may get a X-antibody form of Lilithmon and Lucemon is because they both saw a reprint in the reprint set Rising Winds. They are both good cards, but both cards have dropped in use since they were first released and in price, both sitting around at $10 for the regular art of each one of them. Is it just a coincidence that they chose to reprint those two? Maybe. It also made a bit of hopeful thinking that I could finally make a Lucemon or a Lilithmon theme deck. Either way, I think that'd be rather cool. Now, so far we've covered the Royal Knights, the 7 Great Demon Lords, and Yggdrasil. Next, I'll talk about Mirage Galgamon and Shine Greymon Burst Mode. In BT11, we saw an updated Mirage Galgamon line, and in BT12, we saw an updated Shine Greymon line. Also, we did see additional support for both lines in EX4. With the addition of their burst modes in BT13, those decks will definitely get some type of power up. But let's not forget that they were not the only partners to the protagonists of Digimon Savers. We also have seen a printing of the first 3 main characters of Digimon Savers already, them being Marcus Damon, Yoshino Fujieda, and Thomas Norstein. They were originally released in BT4. Now, whereas the Shadow 4th member of the Digimon Savers crew, Keenan Cryer, showed up more recently in EX4. Since Marcus did get an updated Tamer in BT12, it's not outside the realm of reason that we will get an updated Thomas or Yoshino as well. And yes, I will just admit, Galgamon line did technically get a Tamer with Nikolai Petrov entering the scene, but let's be honest, he's no Thomas. If we do see another Yoshino release in BT13, we could see another Rosemon, as well as a revival of the Digiburst mechanic that has somewhat phased out of the scene. That is, unless you've been using the Grand Coagamon and the Grandest Coagamon decks that are still floating around. Though it would be surprising if they were all released at the same time, we could also see the burst modes of both Ravenmon and Rosemon, as they are linked to the Digimon Saver story. Now that is a good portion of the hints that we can glean from the Digimon Savers arc. That is, if the developers are sticking to the story for pack releases. Just in case, let's also look at some of the recent packs and see if we can gain some insight from there as well. In BT12, they released the final members of the Spirits of the Legendary Warriors from Digimon Frontier, them being Randomon and Mercurymon. Both their lines have been released in the TCG, at least on the Japanese version, along with another iteration of the Flame Spirit, also known as Agunimon. Now, BT12 also introduced Slide and Fusion Digivolution that were seen in Digimon Frontier, as well as an updated Unified Fusion Digivolution for the Flame Spirit, i.e. Emperor Greymon. This shows that Bandai isn't quite done with hybrids just yet. BT13 could sneak in updates for the Light Spirit or another updated Koji. Also, in BT12, we see that the new Takato essentially introduces Biomerge Digivolution from my favorite season of Digimon, Digimon Tamers. So, since Takato received an updated Tamer in BT12, and Henry Jones' sister Shu Shong, I think I'm pronouncing that right, as a dual Tamer in EX4, what about Rika? In EX4, the Renamon line did get more added support with the Yin forms to its normal Digivolution line. However, we still haven't seen another Rika Nonica, and BT13 may be the time they see fit to update the last of the main characters of the season. At the end of the day, these are all mere predictions based on incomplete information. Some may be right on the money, or might all be completely wrong. Either way, it's the only information that we currently could infer for what's to come. So just in case things are going to be revealed as anticipated, might be a good idea to pick up a few copies of select cards before the prices shoot up upon the reveal. I already got my playset of alt arts for Lilamon and a select few alt arts for the Royal Knights just in case. What do you think, everyone? Is there someone else you expect to make an appearance in BT13? Or is there someone you're hoping to finally see enter the frame to the Digimon TCG? Apollomon and Dynamon, still waiting on you. Well, either way, let me know in the comments. I know this video has been long overdue, and with God willing, more to come with a lot short of a break in between. But either way, I hope all of you have a fantastic day, and thank you for making it all the way until the end. Until next time, everyone, I bid you adieu. Ta-ta.